Alright, what we have here is my defensive units. This is really the core of this strategy. These guys here we have a squad behind some sandbags with a lieutenant behind them, and another squad, a heavy weapons team. Got another heavy weapons team on the hill there, and here we have a veterans team in a building. Now, deploying your forces centrally like this has benefits and negatives. Now, the positives are that it forces your enemy to really have to attack them, because when you only have a few units on the board and you're not moving forward, all your enemy has left to do is stand and try and get in a shootout, which he could. This isn't a sizable force really. Or move forward. We're hoping he's moving forward. Now, odds are he's going to try and come at you from every direction. When he does that, that's where your reserves come in. These are wonderful reserves. Now, there's lots of them. Strachan, Penal Legion, Stormtroopers, Special Weapons Squad with 3 heavy flamers, Demolisher Tank, and 2 squads of regular Joes. Now, when your opponent envelops you, find his assault, find a weak point. Do that, and whatever reserve units you get, force him on that weak point. Break that one part in his assault, and then take his assault from there, sweeping across the assault. If he stays back, then pour all of your reserves that are possible. Your Penal Legionnaires should be able to outflank, so if he stays, odds are there's a 2-to-1 chance that you'll come in on the side you want. So just, go after that. Then, with the Stormtroopers, deep strike them. A lot of people aren't fans of deep striking, nor are they of reserves. This is not the strategy for you. This requires tactical flexibility and very fast reflexes when it comes to how you're working on the board. For me, reserves are a good thing. They're not a limitation. They're more of actually a release. Because no matter what unit I get out of these units, no matter which ones come on the table, I'm happy with it. If not a lot come on the table, that means that my opponent will be that much weaker when they do. And as far as my core goes, I'll bring you back over there. As far as my core defense goes, whether or not it falls, I'm not really that upset. And really their whole job is just to try and absorb the attack. Not necessarily crush it. Just absorb it. They do that, and they kill enough people, then when my reserves come in, finish them off. Now, let's talk for a minute about my reserves. There's a lot more to it than just what I said. I'm just going to go over the keys here. Biggest one, Strachan. Strachan himself, wonderful. Run him up. He's not going to die. Nothing short of a last cannon shot will kill him, and even then, there's a 20% chance that I'll just shrug it off. Because he's got a 5+ invulnerable save. A lot of people don't know that about guard officers, but if you look under the war gear, it says refractor field. All guard officers get it. With a refractor field, you get a 5+ invulnerable save. Also, I put a priest with him. He has a 4+ invulnerable save. The priest also allows Strachan to reroll failed hits. Strachan gives Furious Charge. So on Furious Charge, my priest is hitting with Strength 8 with a power weapon. That's slicing through Space Marines. Strachan himself hits with Strength 6 with a power weapon. He's got a plasma pistol also, so he's rearing to go. I've got a melt-a-gun which is an assault weapon, and I've got a medic, which keeps him in the assault, as well as, this is actually a regimental standard. He's a stand-in model. My birthday is coming up this weekend, and I hope to order a officer's pack, probably catechin. That's right, I say catechin, because catechan sounds gay. And then, anyway, and then the Penal Legion itself, a lot of people underestimate it, and I don't want to turn this into a rant about these units, but the Penal Legion really is great if you outflank it, and it rolls for psychopaths. If it rolls for psychopaths on the charge, depending on what it is, it'll more than likely kill it. Alright? See how I'm doing on time. It's 5:54, not bad. Alright, anyway, like I said, I don't want to turn this into a rant about these units. So, anyway, if your opponent stays behind, I don't think I finished talking about that. Oh yeah, I did. Just try and pour all your firepower into them, and then deep strike and outflank as much as possible. And then hopefully, Demolisher will come in on the same turn as Strachan. The Strachan can hide behind the Demolisher as it rolls up and prepares to crush. Alright, let's talk for a minute about these battlements here. As always, no matter what unit I have defending, there's always a unit that I have that's defending. I try and give them as much cover and as much properly placed terrain as possible. What you see here is borderline perfect. Let me see if I can get a good shot of it. Now this is in a perfect world where all the terrain is exactly where you want it. It doesn't always happen. But things like the barbed wire, that's an incentive not to come straight up, which means they'll be attacking from one side. And if they attack from one side, your reserves can come in and counterattack. That's what it's all about. And then, if they do come in from the front, now I'd place a lot more barbed wire than this just to slow them down. And if that doesn't slow them down, at least it's a deterrent. At least you tried, right? I'm not upset if I lose and it's close, because I know that I did a good job. And if you put all the barbed wire you can out there, they'll keep them back, and you'll do a good job. Now, in a perfect world, all of our terrain can castle up like this, with a building on one flank, a hill on another, lots of barbed wire out in front, and sandbags between you and the enemy. It's all about placement of terrain. When you have lots of infantry, keep them in as much terrain as possible. Otherwise, they'll just get creamed. Anyway, I'm going to cut it short here. And you've gotten the basics. I might go and do an advanced video, depending on if I can get a friend over, because it really requires two armies, and really requires a battle report to really show how it's done. But here's the gist. This is my favorite, because it involves much of your favorite things. Taking a charge and charging. So, yep, that's a counter-charge strategy, and I hope you enjoyed, and stick around and you'll see some more. All right, bye.